Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my midday live. A little bit of a change up, but welcome, everyone. I see some of you are jumping in the comments right away, so that's great to see you guys. Looking forward to card making today, Terry says. That's great. Welcome, Terry. I see we have Beth in the comments, so she's going to be helping with some linking. And we also have Kelly in the comments from Hero Arts. So thank you, Kelly, for joining us today. I'm going to be creating a card today with products from the I Pick You collection, which was just recently released. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I kind of exhausted some of the ideas on one of the products, but I do have, I want to do some coloring today. I don't know if I've ever colored in a live. So I thought I'd dig out my OLO markers and do some coloring for you guys today. So Sandy's been working on Christmas cards. That's wonderful. Hi, I'm Rita. We also have Amrita. So I have three people in the comments to help you today. Kelly can help answer any questions regarding Hero Arts. And then I have Amrita and Beth in the comments. They can help you with any links. So I did provide a short little link list down in the video description. I think it's the first one. The first link will get you to the entire I Pick You collection. And then I did link individually the bundles that I think I'll be using today. So, hi everyone. Hi, Nancy. Great to see you. And my wonderful husband is getting paid to watch my wife work her magic. Thanks, babe. So, yeah. Hi, everyone. All right. So, it looks like you guys can hear and see me today. That is fantastic. Yes, give a nice little welcome to Andrew, my husband. He actually watches all of my lives when he can. So he'll pop me on while he's doing some stuff. So yeah, my husband is joining today. Hi everyone. I know, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize Leo was live today. I scheduled this a few weeks ago. So yeah, I'm so sorry, Maggie, that you have to have two of us on at once. Now, I do have a special for you guys. So Hero Arts has generously offered a discount for you guys. If you haven't done any shopping yet, I want to pop this graphic up here. We'll talk about this really quick. So we have 20% off the I Pick You collection with my code. I don't think I typed this out in the video description yet, but I will after the live is done. And and Reed, I'll come back to that. So that code will get you 20% off the I Pick You collection, which is fantastic. If you love fall, you love fall themed products, this is a great collection for that. Now, this code is going to get you 20% off that collection for a limited time. You have to use the code at checkout. The offer is valid from today until the 26th. So you have a couple days to use that, not valid on previous purchases, but that will get you that discount. And then I do want to show you, I have one more code here. Let me move that over a little bit. We'll just block me for now. The Hero Studio subscriber perks. I really hope you're a subscriber to the Hero Studio because, wow, they have just been getting better and better. And you guys want to subscribe because The next release that comes out on October 1st is fantastic. I can't do any sneak peeks or give you anything like that, but I will tell you it is awesome. So if you are a subscriber, today and tomorrow, you get free shipping on US orders using that code. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. I really want to encourage you to be a subscriber because you get first dibs on the kit. You don't have to worry about anything selling out. You get perks like that. So it's always great to just go ahead and subscribe. But you can purchase things individually the next month, I believe it is. Hi, Libby. Great to see you here. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to do some coloring. Oh, before I do that, Amrita. Funny. So, Amrita brought up in the comments about ice cream. So, the other day, I just kind of nonchalantly threw out into the universe, hey, you know what would be really great is McDonald's ice cream. And I ran a little late on my live on Monday night, and he did bring me ice cream. And unfortunately, it was so melted. He had it in a cup and it was so, so melted. Dalton and I shared the ice cream. So, yes, I did get my ice cream the other night, but I just got to learn like not to say that when I'm not even close to being done with my live. Hi, everyone. Hi, Debbie. Great to see you guys. Stellar Crafts by Pam asks, is there a specific subscription or any, or do they have only one? So, no, they have many different subscriptions. You can do just a layering stencil. There's a cling, there's a stamping cut. Oh boy, Kelly, help me out. There's like a fancy die one, and then there's actually a whole Hero Studio package. So it's very similar to how Spellbinders runs theirs. There's just not as many. If you do the Hero Studio, you'd get everything. So the stencil, the die, the card kit. There's a card kit. Oh my gosh, the card kit, you guys. So there are individual ones that you can sign up for, but there's the Hero Studio that'll get you everything. And if you sign up for the Hero Studio, then you also get a special bonus item. It changes from month to month, but you'd get a bonus item. Plus, you're getting all those perks. So there is a few of them that you can subscribe to, just depending on your interests. You know, do you prefer a card kit? Do you prefer just stamping, or maybe you like background stamps? Or maybe you like stencils like me. I'm kind of one of those I want it all people, so I would just do the whole thing because it always coordinates so well together. So 6 different subscriptions. There we go. I'd add you to the comments. Can I? There, I did. I don't usually add comments to my thing. So 6 different subscriptions: card kit, stencils, cling, die, stamping cut, and the whole studio. So that disappeared really fast. Hello, everyone. All right, I'm going to drop you guys down to my tabletop. So now the 2 things that I was kind of debating about what to use was between these 2 collections. I've exhausted the other one. This one is called In the Orchard. I'm going to walk through both of these just to show you what they are. This creates a beautiful kind of branch overhanging with all of the apples from the apple orchard. You have a pair of rain boots, a basket of apples, some individual apples. You have a ladder, and then we have the sentiments, I'd pick you every time. Hang in there, and oh boy, my glasses. One bad apple doesn't spoil the bunch. So this is one of the sets. There is also, if I can get it on my package, a coordinating stencil for this. So if you don't want to color in some small images, they do have a stencil to do the branches, the ladder. You know, each piece kind of layers together. So you would stamp it out, use your stencils to color it in, and then it has a coordinating die for everything on the stamp set. So that is one of them. They do have some fantastic examples on the Hero Arts website. I actually created quite a few examples for some of the sets. And then I can't remember who all created with this one, but there's quite a few different examples on there. Now, the one that I am going to use today is this branch of apples, and this is called Apple Branch. I love how simple they are with naming their sets. So Apple Branch, we have these 3 apples on here, bunch of leaves. There's also individual flowers. And the sentiments are, thank you, you're the sweetest, and I couldn't have picked a better friend. I love that sentiment. I'm probably going to be using that sentiment today. And then there is coordinating dies. So on the Hero Arts website, I believe there's a few examples of just stamping the image. You don't even have to color it if you just want to stamp it because you like the image. But I'm going to be doing my coloring today because I haven't colored in a while. I do love coloring. So I'm going to color this image in. Now, one thing that I do want to let you know before I get too far into this, come back here real quick. I have to be done. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I have to cut myself off at 2:15. So about an hour. I have to color and make a card, but I have to cut myself off at 2:15 regardless. If I don't finish, I'll finish it off screen and post pictures later on in my posts tab on YouTube and also on social media. But I have a doctor appointment to run Dalton to today for his yearly checkup. So cutting myself off today at 2:15 and hopefully we can get done with this. Hi, everyone. So before I get going, are there any questions that I can help you guys with before I start my coloring? And I do love, there's coordinating die for all of this. Can we just like give a round of applause for coordinating dies? Because I would be lost. I would be lost without it. I had already gone ahead and stamped out my image. I used my Intens-ified Black Ink. Now, the only thing different is I have really been liking coloring on this OLO paper. So I do have that link down below in the video description. It's super smooth. It's great for alcohol markers. You know, if you're going to color, use whatever you're comfortable with. I've been kind of experimenting a little bit. So that is why you see that linked in the video description. It's the Intens-ified Black Ink from Hero Arts, but it is the OLO cardstock. And then I picked out some colors for my OLO markers, and I will zoom in as soon as I get to coloring. But these are the markers that I picked out. Now, in one of my samples that I colored, I went with more of a like mossy green for the leaves. Today, I decided to switch it up and go more bright green leaves. So, all right, now let's get zoomed in and hopefully my head doesn't get in the way. I just want you guys to be able to see that really well. Get my readers ready, but I also have to pull my hair back because I don't like my hair hanging in my face, especially when I'm going to be coloring. Did anybody order any of these products yet? Like, did you order it right when it was released? I think that was Saturday. I think it was released. Did anybody order these already? Just curious. All right. The colors I picked out today is a YG 1.6, 1.4, and 1.2. And I just wanted to show you, oh, I'm probably really full screen now. This is going to be really big on your screen. But this is something that OLO Marker provides on their website. And so I filled it in with all of the colors that I have. They do have some new colors that are being launched very soon. I believe those are available for pre-order. But I use this all the time as a reference to help me pick out my colors. They also have, oh, I didn't grab it. There's like a color wheel that I also use to help with the colors. Now, when I color, I also have a piece of heavyweight cardstock underneath. I just like having that under, honestly, I forget what the reasoning is, but I like having that underneath when I'm coloring. Looks like there's some questions there that Kelly can answer. And lost track of time. No problem. We are just getting started. So pretty laid back. Actually, again, it's going to give you a lot of time to chat. If you have any questions, I'll try and look up to answer your questions. But I'm going to just be doing some coloring today. So I'm starting with my darkest color, which is the YG 1.6. And I'm just going to lay down my shadow first. So I'm going to do that. When it comes to the leaves, I try and put my shadow area on the part of the leaf that's closest to the ground. So for me on this particular leaf, that's going to be over here. So I'm going to add in my darkest color. I'm just going to go around it. I am not a professional coloring person, obviously, but I do enjoy it. I'm going to add a bit of color there. Come in with my next color, which is the YG 1.4. And I'm going to go right along that edge of the color I just did. Same thing up here to blend that out. And then the 1.2, which is quite drastic from the last color I used, but once I kind of go over those previously colored areas, it's going to smooth it all out. This is just one of my favorite green color combinations for it. Yeah, I know I've seen somebody mention, they're like, oh, I can't wait to see you color. Yeah, I don't think I really colored a lot in lives. All right, so I'm just going to move on through the leaves. So there's quite a few leaves in here. And again, I'm adding that darkest color towards the part of the leaf that's closest to the ground, but also there's that vein right in the middle. And I think the veins usually have kind of some sticks out a little bit. If you look at an actual leaf, you would see the color variations in it. I could add a shadow right along that edge of the apple, but I'm not going to. Work my way around. I kind of pick out the leaves that are easiest at first, and I'll come back to the ones that I have to think about. And I could definitely, you know, the professional people, the ones who do this kind of on a consistent basis, they would probably really dress this up with, you know, added texture and veining and shadows, and I'm not one of those people. I'm just going to go with what feels comfortable to me. And it's going to be the same process. I lay down my darkest color, blend it out with that mid-tone, and then I'll come in with the lightest. I almost always use 3 colors. It's very rare that I only use 2. That was just what I learned when I started, and that's just kind of what stuck with me. Now these to me get a little tricky. I have to really look at where the leaf is pointing. So I feel like the most part of the leaf is facing this way. So I'm going to put my darkest shade over here. Again, just following the line of the leaf. Add a little bit here in that vein. And blend it out. You guys are so funny. Talking about watching me color all day. I don't know. It might get boring for you. It's a great time for questions, though. Being that it's a leaf that I'm just coloring over and over. I'm also trying to add a few dips in there. And then blend that out. I've had these pretty much since they came out, and I use them off and on. Still working on being comfortable with them. And let's see. So now this leaf, okay, there's a couple things with this leaf I do want to talk about, even though I probably won't do it. But this leaf to me is pointing that direction. So I'm going to put my shadow over here. There's also a dip. And I know there are some people who could really shade that to emphasize that. I don't know if I can do it. Let's get that dark outline in there. So I'm just going to pretend I'm an imposter. Coloring is, I do enjoy it. It is very relaxing. Just kind of pop on a movie and or a podcast if you listen to podcasts. And let's see how this looks when I blend it out. See, I know I could have probably emphasized that dip a little bit, but I don't know how, so this is what I'm going to do. Just keep going over that until it's blended out. Turn your cardstock if you need to. Don't be afraid to turn your cardstock to what's comfortable for you. Oh, Maggie, have you tried adding black with markers like you have done with ink blending? No, I haven't. If I were to do something like that, I would probably use a colored pencil. So I don't know, I don't know who doesn't know him, but if you've ever seen Alberto on Instagram, he is absolutely amazing. He actually, there was a couple coloring videos I seen of his. Oops, I think I colored my sky there because I wasn't paying attention. He uses some black pencils. Now, I don't know what kind of black pencils, but he does bring in a lot of grays and also some pencils of sorts to add his deep, deep shadows that he does. I've never really done that. I've added white. I can show you what white does because I've done white before. It's actually a nice little trick because a lot of times I'll get a little too heavy-handed with my shadow and even my midtone. I don't leave my highlight very well. So there's a trick you can do with a white colored pencil to add it back in. And I just keep working my way around. And it's all about, how do you want yours to look? Some people like them really dark and heavy-handed like that. Other people don't. And just follow along those artist drawn lines. Yep, black pencil. I know I think his is actually some sort of specialty pencil. I don't think it's a straight out colored pencil, but I don't remember. I think I played around with the idea once and it wasn't, I adore his coloring. It looks amazing. But it wasn't something I wanted to do on mine. There you go. Yeah, Alberto, he is phenomenal. He's he's one of those ones that I do completely enjoy watching his coloring when he does his speed coloring videos, but I don't want to be that level. That is a serious, intense level of coloring. But that's what he does is he colors. I ink blend. We each kind of have our own things that we like to do, specialties, if you would say. He is very mesmerizing, yes. Doesn't really turn his things into cards, though, very often. His is just coloring. I wonder what he does with all his colorings. I'll grab my white one and show you what I do with my white one. Okay. There we go. Where's my white one go? So I will grab a white, which I think this is the, oh, not the Prismo. What's the other one? Can't remember. Faber-Castell, Polychromos. So sometimes if I get too heavy-handed, I will take my white pencil and make sure it's really nice and sharp and very, very lightly, I will go over that highlight area. Like you can barely, barely see it. Or if you have a light green colored pencil, and I will just very, very lightly. It's probably really hard to see on screen, but I will add in And this cardstock is super smooth. It's not very toothy, so it's not really great for pencils. But if you're using like something like Nina, you can come in with this white colored pencil and it'll help add your highlights back in if you got too heavy-handed. Or if you have maybe some dark green colored pencils, you could come in and add even more depth to your leaves. Hello, everyone. No problem on being late, Mary. Great to see you guys all popping in. Just a nice, relaxing after lunch hour. Is that how we should say it? After lunch hour? Doing some coloring. Did I grab the right one? Yes, I did. And I always want to make sure I'm leaving that little bit of room up there for that highlight. Blend that out. So, and especially with coloring, it's something that is definitely needs practice. You know, you can't expect to pick up markers and have it turn out the first time. It's things that you just really got to keep practicing. I remember you guys are talking about Kathy Rakusen, and she encouraged coloring, what is it, like 15 minutes a day? Just coloring every day. And she had those challenges. Just color a little bit every day. And it's very true. The more you do it, the better you will get. There's definitely times I picked up my markers and felt like I didn't remember how to color because it had been just so long since I picked up my markers. And there's a lot of leaves, but I kind of like that because it gives me practice with my leaves. I have always kind of struggled with coloring leaves. Depends on the leaf, I think, to be honest. These are really nice. Hello, everyone. I see some people said they were joining late. We do have, I'm going to pop it up on screen really quick for anybody that had joined late, is I am using the Apple branch from the I Pick You collection from Hero Arts, and we have a special code for you. Use that code on screen at checkout, and that will get you 20% off anything in the I Pick You collection. And that is good through the 26th. So if you haven't shopped yet, you do have a couple days available that you can pick something up. I do have some links down in the video description to what I'm using today. So if you're interested in anything, we have a discount code for you. I know I love shopping with discount codes. Do I need something? No. But do I buy it because it's on sale? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I was talking to somebody earlier in a meeting, and it was funny. We were talking about just me and some of the things that I do with companies and stuff. And she's like, well, you probably don't shop a lot anymore. And I started laughing, like, oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. And my husband knows that I do. I'm like, yes, I still definitely contribute to the companies. Oh, Maggie, that's a great idea. Maggie says, I've been making an effort to stamp out multiple sheets of my stamp sets and placing them in the pocket. That way, I've always got something to color and don't have to wait for the ink to dry. That is a fantastic idea. I actually did that with this set as I stamped it out about 45 minutes ahead of time because I did stamp it multiple times to make sure I had just some really nice crisp lines. So I stamped it out ahead of time to make sure it was dry and that I wouldn't smear when I started coloring. There was at one point, I have a little book off on the side, and I started, like, if I wanted to experiment with colors, I would stamp an image in there. Excuse me, my throat's getting really dry. one second, guys. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Okay. Hopefully my throat behaves. A lot of talking today. um, but I started like this little book. So if I wanted to just sit down and color, or I wanted to experiment with color combinations, I would do it in this little book. Yeah, I have like one picture in there. I was very inspired by, I think it's Christy Gets Crafty. She does these YouTube videos where I think I think there's like maybe a couple companies that she focuses on. One of them is Lawn Fawn, and she'll stamp out the image like 6 or 8 times, and she'll come up with different color variations of it and how you can color it. And I think it's usually using her Copic markers, but I thought that is such a fantastic idea. All right, this one is a little tricky because he's right straight at the top. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a shadow on each side. When all else fails, I'll make the highlight the center. Tracy, hello from Baton Rouge. I'm so glad I saw your live. I love your coloring. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a while. Just means I have to talk more. Unless you have some questions about coloring, I'd be happy to answer those. Almost to the apples. So this part, okay, I'm going to do this in sections. So this has a part of the leaf that's flipped up. So I started with my darker color there. And I'm trying to follow the same shape as that initial line to try and show that there's a curve here. And then I can come in for the leaf. So I did that in 2 sections. A lot of times I'll do that because I don't want the area to dry. I want my ink to stay wet on the paper there, so I work in small sections. When the ink is wet, I can move it around. And same thing here. Now here, I'm going to try and follow the line up here to try and give it that kind of curved look. I don't know if I'm completing this right or not. I'm not very good at translating my method of madness on camera. All right, I think I got all of the leaves. Okay, I think I got all that. Yeah. Question, Amrita says, sometimes you stamp in a light ink first and then a black after, but not today. Just a personal preference? You know, I actually forgot to do that. A lot of times, though, I only do that with ink blending. That's typically where you'll see that. I do it in a lot of the ink blending videos. I don't do it a ton with my coloring. I don't know why. I never know where to add these shadows and highlights. My crafty adventure, I know that can be a struggle. Sometimes I feel like the images are very distinct and I can kind of get an idea. Other times I struggle as well. And what I would say is look up some pictures. Like I would, and this is honestly what I do. I would go to maybe some Pinterest or even Google, and I would type in Copic colored apples or OLO colored apples, you know, whatever you're going to be using, something like that. See what pops up. And then I would kind of look at that image that's already out there and try and translate it to my design. So that's visual. I'm a very visual person. I need to see it. And once I see it, I can kind of figure it out. Now, some of the images that pop up are probably going to be pretty intense and way past my level. But for the most part, it'll give me a good idea of where I can put my shadow areas, things like that. What I always look at, and I think I talked about this with ink blending too, um, is when I was learning to color. So you always have to think about there's going to be a light source of something. And whether you want to grab something to represent your light source, like let's just grab my bottle. Let's pretend that my cleaner bottle is a light source. Let's just pretend that this is the sun or whatever. If I place that here and I think about, well, you can't see it. If I think about this is a light, what part of my image is that light going to hit first? Well, I kind of actually screwed up if I would gone off of that. It would actually hit this part of the leaf or this part of the leaf as your lightest area. And then anything past that is going to get darker. So I will honestly sometimes grab something and just use that for visual purposes. Like this is my light source. Put that here. What part of the image is that going to hit first? And whatever your light source is hitting first is going to be your lightest area. So you just kind of, use your finger like I do. Just draw your line. Like what part of the leaf would that hit first? So that's one way I look at things. It's not always perfect, and maybe not the most technical way, but it's a visual. And like I said, I'm a visual learner, so that would be my way of doing it. But I don't teach coloring classes. Right. Will the recipient card know where the light is coming from? You're right, Beth. Most people, it does not matter. I do like to try and perfect my things sometimes. So I want to always improve, but you're right. As long as there's a light spot and a dark spot, just to show that there's dimension, it's not such a big deal. I just want to show that it's dimensional or curved or rounded instead of just being a flat. All right, now for my apple. So I picked out reds and I decided well, this is 4 colors. I'm not sure if I'll need all 4, but I did R 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, and 0.3. We will see how this goes. Let's see. I'm going to pick, and again, I always kind of start with the easiest one first, which to me is going to be this. So what I want to do, let's see, what do I want to do? I'm not going to get overly technical, but let's add my darkest area over here. And I have to be careful. My reds get away from me sometimes. And again, there's really simplified ways of coloring. Some people get super technical. I'm still signed up for coloring classes and I get them every month. And I would love to get back into it because I want to learn more. And their coloring classes are pretty intense, pretty particular, very professional. And I want to take knowledge out of that and simplify it, is what I want to do. Okay, I'm not talking through it too much because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do here too. So I do want to drag this kind of mid-tone color around the very outer edge. Let's see, let's maybe bring that in a little bit more. I'll jump into some lighter colors because it's easier to darken it up and add shadows. It's easier to do that than start too dark. Bring that in. Now, what I know I do want to do is I want to kind of keep a highlight area. So let me just color that in. And then I can fine tune it from here. All right. Let me just even that out a little bit. Nice shine mark. So you could just really leave it like that. I mean, it kind of looks like a cherry actually. I'm going to go back to the darkest color and I got to kind of be careful with this because if I add too much color, I'm going to start bleeding and I don't want to. But I do want to Darken that up a little bit more. I'm not very good at apples. Keep bringing that around maybe. Maybe fill that in. And let's bring in that lightest color. I'm really going over it heavy because there's a lot of like colorless blender in here. So the more I'm adding of that, the more it's kind of pushing that darker color away. So how does that look, guys? Question. Are these classes we could attend too? Oh, these, Beth Ann, the classes that I have signed up, I've been signed up for years. It's actually what I started with, is from Kitten Clowder. She is actually out of Australia, and she's been teaching online classes for years. They are gorgeous. I've actually completed a few of them. So I do have finished projects with them, things like that. I'm still signed up. I still get the classes. I still pay for it every month. I just haven't gone too much further, and I really shouldn't. It's mainly just because of time. R0.6 first if she started with the darkest. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Tracy Stedman, which shade did you use first for the apple? I did the R0.6. I'm a person that likes to start with my darkest color first and work my way out. Some people start with a light color to, figure out where their shadows are going to go. And I don't remember who teaches what anymore for it, but I do the R.6. I start with my darkest color. I just jump in. Do you ever go back in with a white pen to add highlights? Sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes I do. I might on that one. I might actually, this is one where I could probably come in with that colored pencil. And add that highlight in just a little bit. So that's something that would be really helpful with the colored pencil. Kelly Taylor also has a YouTube channel. She does lots of coloring videos. I actually just had her on the other day too. And she's a phenomenal teacher. She is a really, really good teacher when it comes to the coloring. I probably should pay attention to that more. This one, I'm just going to throw the darker on this side. It probably shouldn't be on this side, but I'm going to put it there. Again, I am not professional at this. It's just what's going to work for me. I think I'm actually going to go all the way around and put the highlight in the center. Like I said, I know actually one of the examples, or I think like starter things on Kitten Clowder, is that is an apple to teach you how to color round objects. Of course, I forgot how to do that. So this is what I'm going to do. They're all phenomenal teachers. Everybody has their own way. It's one thing you got to keep in mind is everybody has their own way of coloring. They all have their favorite paper that they like to use for various reasons. And once you kind of get the basic concepts down, then you can branch out and decide what's going to work best for you. There is the Kitten Clowder are paid classes. It's a subscription you'd sign up for. There are lots of video tutorials on YouTube that are free. So it just kind of depends what you're looking for. And let's try this. Come in with that last color, the lightest color. And actually on the website, I think I colored this a different way on the website. So I think that colored one is mine. And let's come back in with a 0.5. Just darken that up a little bit more under that leaf. I do try and pay attention if images are overlapping. Let me finish this apple and I'll kind of tell you what I mean. This has got a lot of ink on it. All right, so when I talk about images overlapping, and this is something I do with flowers too. So example, this leaf is slightly overlapping the apple, which means it's going to cast a shadow. There's going to be a little bit of a darker area right under where that leaf is, or depending on how big the shadow is, maybe the shadow is a really big shadow. So I do keep that in mind, especially on flowers mainly, actually. I would, maybe make that a little bit darker under there to have the shadow. It just depends on how technical you want to get. Some people, like I'm just going to leave it. I think it's perfectly fine that way. Let's maybe come in with that white pencil. You don't want to push too hard, just real soft, brighten it up. And you don't want to do too much of the highlight because then otherwise it's just not going to look balanced. My Crafty Adventure new sub. So happy I found your channel. Well, thank you so much. It's great to have you here. Glad you're enjoying it. I normally do lots of ink blending, but today we are coloring. I was a little worried about that because coloring is a little time consuming. But there are lots of images out there that we can color. All right, now, okay, we have the bottom of the apple here. So I'm going to add that shadow right there. You guys are kind of getting this as I work through because I haven't colored it like this. So I'm trying to figure out myself what I want to do for this. Got my shadow in there. I might bring that shadow out a little bit more. I feel like it's just too much of a significant line. I don't want it to be in a significant line. I'll come in later. Now, just so I don't get too big of a highlight area, I'm going to just drag this around. And let's go to our next color. Blend that out just a little bit more. So I do kind of go over right where I ended and maybe a little bit past to help smooth that out so we don't have any streaking. Now let's see. Let's maybe do that. Such a nice red shade. And then let's blend that out. And come in with my lightest. All right, now I want to tweak this a little bit. So I'm going to come back in. I'm going to add more of a shadow over here. I think maybe a little bit more down here. Shadows is what really helps show that this is got a shape and it's not just a flat object. I'm getting way too much color down on my paper. You can tell. It's getting squeaky. And my next color, 1 second, guys, I'll get up to the comments. And I'm probably really leaking through that cardstock right now. And blend that out. All right, I think I'll quit messing with that. And let me just pop this in there a little bit. Oh, and I still have to do my stem. Okay, so I'm going to come back over to my comments here, see what you guys, if you have any questions. Beth, you didn't like coloring as a kid? Oh my gosh. I'll have to tell you about that in a minute. Just started getting into it, my crafty adventure said. Really enjoying it, but a lot to learn. There is a lot, but like I said, practice. It's like anything, whether it's coloring, ink blending, even stamping. It all takes time to learn what works, what doesn't. So you just got to be patient with yourself. Coloring, I remember, and I still actually do this, like the coloring books, you grab some crayons. Our way of coloring was you go with a dark color or you push really hard and you outline the image and then you lightly color it in. Do you remember doing that? I loved coloring like that. I don't know. There was something very satisfying about it. Not very dimensional, but there was just something satisfying about it. Now for my branch itself, I'm using OR 7.4. Thank you guys. I'm glad you're liking it. That actually went faster than I thought it was gonna. And just coming in with my branch, trying not to color outside of the line. They can get pretty small in there, which is probably where having a colored pencil on hand wouldn't be a bad idea. And I am going to skip adding any shadows to this branch because I just don't feel like coloring that thin of a line. I'm already getting outside of the lines. There. You guys did the same thing. I love it. I think we actually still have some coloring books somewhere of like when my sister and I would color. I think we actually saved some of those. They're just so fun. All right, so that is my apples. That went way quicker than I thought. Let me back out a little bit here. And another thing too, when it comes to the coloring is walk away. You know, if you look at it and you just don't think it's looking right, walk away. You can come back in, you can add shadows over the top or, lighten something up. But a lot of times you're not seeing the full picture because your face is probably right in there. So you are going to see streaks. You are going to see, what you are looking at as imperfections when really it just makes the image. And sometimes you just have to finish the image to really see the full picture. So I don't always explain very well how I color or why I do the way I do it, but I try to give you tips as you are in your journey of coloring is practice and step away or sit back. Just take a step back from it, look at it, or even I'll take it and I'll hold it in front of me and kind of look at it at a distance because that's when things usually come together really well. So this has a coordinating die. I need to get my head right over this. So 1 second here. All that coloring, I want to make sure I line that up really well. Pop my head in there for a second. And over here. Now I think I'm going to hold this down in a couple different spots because this is a pretty large image. I don't want it to move all over the place. Okay. Will watercolor pencil work over alcohol markers? I mean, with actually adding a touch of water. I don't know. I've never done watercoloring over it. I don't think water is going to affect it because in order to move the alcohol marker, you would need alcohol. But I don't know how that would look. So I can't say yes or no to that. That's just kind of one of those I would probably experiment. Now, I think I've watercolored before. I'm trying to think. No, I've added pencils. I've done watercoloring and then came over the top with pencils, but I don't think I've ever mixed watercoloring and alcohol markers. So I'm just die cutting this out real quick. Yeah, and Rita makes a good point as worrying about pilling of the cardstock because you don't want your cardstock to start pilling on you. this out. This cuts out in all the right places. It's not just an outline that it cuts out. It's going to cut out all the little things in between too. So look at this. Look how amazing that cut out. All those little crevices. Oh, isn't that great? I love that. I love when dies do that. So I need a background and a sentiment. Just gonna poke out all the little spaces there. So I'll let you guys look at that. I'm also going to take this and die cut it from some heavy cardstock that I have off on the side. Oh, come on. I like to do this to put more support behind my image. So let me, Tracy's asking, oh, where the subscribe button is. It's not on your screen. Beth is saying, if you don't see the subscribe button right under the video on the same line as my name, then you are already subscribed. So thank you, Beth, for that. Tracy, I hope you can see that there on your screen. Whoop, whoop. Runaway tools. At least it's not flying off. I've definitely shot my tools off in my craft room before. So I'm going to glue these two together real quick because I like to offer support behind my images. So let me grab my glue. Just grab this. What piece of cardstock? What did the piece of cardstock that was underneath look like? Oh, what did I do with it? Where did I put it? Oh, yeah, I got a little heavy with my red, so that caught that extra. You know, and I know there's a reason why I do it. I just don't remember what that logical reason is. But I was told that one time, so that is what I do. So now I'm just gonna glue these two together real quick. And I kind of have an idea for a background. It's gonna be pretty simple, but I think it'll help make the apples stand out a little bit more. So we'll glue that. And they look so bright with that bright green. It's funny, actually, Dalton's going on a field trip, I think tomorrow, to an apple orchard. He loves apples. Him and Allie love apples. Allie especially. Question, where did you get the you're using and what is it called? I like the pokey end, but what about the flat end? You mean the pokey tool I just had? Is that what you're talking about? This is just a die release tool. There's many of them out there. This one, it just has a pokey end on one side to get into the holes. And then I don't even use that flat end, to be honest. This is Spellbinder, so they have a pokey one too. And then this is supposed to help you get your pieces out of your die. So this is the one I was using. And then Spellbinders has one. I got the Lilac Shimmer one because it matches my die cut machine. So hope that is what you were referring to. Let me look up. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Weight of cardstock, Mary asks. I think one of the girls answered that for you. Beth says 100 pounds. The OLO cardstock. Thank you, Kelly. Impressive coloring today. All right, I can move on to, let's do a background. So grab some cardstock. Got some white cardstock. Ooh, I got about 15 minutes, guys. So good thing I have an idea what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have this coming in from the top. I might have to cut off some of those leaves. And let me grab a brush. And blending brush and cherry ink. So I'm just going to do a little bit of ink blending in the background. I mean, we could just do right to white cardstock. I think that's a very sharp look too. But you know me, or maybe you don't, but I like to do ink blending. So I like to have things kind of fade off. So I start a little bit heavy in the corner. This is where my apple branch is going to start. And then I'm going to have it fade off into the white. And this is a large blending brush from Spellbinders. Pretty sure I linked this down below in the video description. They're really big, fluffy, great for soft backgrounds. I could have also done blue to make it look like sky, but I like tying in to my apples. So I'm going to have that come down just a little bit more. Just have it fade off a little bit. I don't want any drastic marks of where my blending ended. My inkstand is well loved and I miss a lot. That's what that all is. That means I miss a lot when I'm grabbing ink. All right, I'm going to do that. Get that off on the side. We'll clean up my mess because, oh my gosh, this is why I had black, my black mat the other day. And I was very upset because I cleaned my mat. I thought it was really clean. I thought I got everything off for ink. And then I flipped a panel over to add foam tape to the back. And when I flipped it back, I got ink on my front of my panel. I was so mad. So I'm like, all right, back to white it is. At least I can see when I don't get all my ink. Now I need a sentiment. So we're going to stamp that real quick. Grab another piece of cardstock here. Nope, onto this one. So has anybody ordered this set before, or are you planning to? Because now you have inspiration and how to color it. Or if you've ordered maybe something else from the I Pick You collection. Oh, my poor Misti is very dirty. And then let's get this stamped. Oh, this is pitch black, but same thing. This is pitch black from Hero Arts. Still a black ink. And I did the sentiment. I couldn't have picked a better friend because I think this would be fantastic to send to somebody. And you could put this sentiment on anything. So maybe you have a strawberry set, you know, any type of fruit, vegetable set that you have, this would make a great sentiment for. Excuse me, you guys. And I think I'll stamp it one more time. Yes, I do have a coupon code. I'm really sorry I did not put that in my video description. I'm sure the girls have been popping that into the comments. If you guys do plan on ordering today, if you haven't already, and you're interested in anything, we do have that coupon code for you, so that'll get you 20% off. I'm pretty sure I linked the bundle, so you can get the stamp and die in a bundle. I believe you can also order products individually, but who does not love a coordinating die for your sentiments? I don't know if I know anybody that doesn't, because they're so fantastic to have. Was this my set? Yes, it was. So I just wanted to leave that there for you guys. If you do plan on ordering anything, but maybe you ordered on release day. Did anybody order on release day? I'd love to know what you got if you did. All right, I'm just die cutting this out. So yeah, that coupon code's good for a couple days. if you are thinking about a purchase. I'll run this through my die cut machine again. And I will update that video description after my live. Well, I should say I'll update it after I get back home because I have to run Dalton to the doctor appointment. So it'll be a little bit before I get pictures done for this. And I'm doing the same thing as I'm die cutting out multiples for my sentiment so I can pop that up. Getting that all done. Rocket apples. Are we talking about different kinds of apples? Love the cursive font. Absolutely. That is really pretty. I didn't miss any questions, did I? Okay. Thank you, Beth and Amrita, today for providing the links in the comments there for you guys. And thank you to Kelly, who had joined us today to help answer any questions. She is from Hero Arts. I work with her quite often. She is fantastic and a very patient person. Love her to death. Oh, thank you, Beth Ann, for the super sticker. There's a whole, what is that? Shimba da, oh, it must be. I think it's describing the picture to me. I'll have to go back and look. I don't know where I put my tweezers. Oh yeah, his appointment will be fine. He it's just his yearly checkup because his birthday is on Saturday. So on Friday, I'm gonna have to go and buy balloons and then hide them until Saturday. So I think it's Saturday is the 27th. Probably should double check my calendar. What did you guys think today? I know I have a few minutes here while I'm wrapping up the card. What did you guys think of the coloring? I've always, to be honest, kind of was scared to do coloring in the videos or in a live because I know it can be time consuming. So I'm curious, what did you guys think? Is it too boring? Do you like it? I don't want to, I almost always do ink blending. I don't want you guys to get sick of me. All right, so I want that to kind of swing in from the side. And yes, Saturday is the 27th. Perfect. Perfect. I lose track of my days. Think. Oh, where do I want to put that? Maybe down here? I put that up a little bit, swing it over a little bit. All right, gosh darn. Okay, I'm gonna make my card base while I decide where I, okay, tell me in the comments, sentiment, top or bottom? I'm gonna get my card base ready. You guys tell me in the comments. I cannot believe I'm actually gonna get this card done. Totally thought that coloring was gonna take longer. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes for Dalton. Yeah, he's excited. He is excited. So I'm just getting my card base all set here. You guys like the coloring live video? Sorry, that was probably really loud. Oh no. Oh, hold on, I got more. There we go. Always have a refill ready. We can pop this on. Top. Looks like top. If I could figure out and how to do a poll, I would have done a poll. One of these days I'll have to figure all that out. Top. So I had that tilted. So you guys are all saying top. All right, so let's get that glued down then. It looked like a lot of top. You liked watching the coloring. It was relaxing. Thank you, Kelly. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I get a little nervous with that much coloring. Oh, I had to clean my tip. 5-minute warning. Beth, you're cute. Well, and I gotta say, if I go to like 217, I'll be okay. Only takes me a few minutes to get to the school, but I wanted to make sure I left myself time to kind of get everything shut down and cleaned up. And thankfully, we live really close. Oh, my needles are all so dirty. Let's get some glue added. I gotta get a new fine tip bottle, I think. I think I've about destroyed that one. So when I put this on, so if I tilt it quite a bit, then I can put that up there. I think that'll fill that spot in nicely. So let's let this sit for a second with my liquid glue. Maria, I always like to watch the coloring part. I did build in a buffer. Marita, thank you guys so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, and the tip with the white colored pencil. I'm glad you guys found that useful. So I just clean up a little bit here. I got a few minutes. I am so excited that I actually got this done in time. Trim off anything that's overhanging. There. And now we can pop on the sentiment. So I'm going to do, all right, I purposely stacked it so I didn't have to cut thin foam squares, but I want to overlap the apples, and I need that to be a little bit more flush. So let's just, I am really pushing myself, ain't I, on that time? And let's see, I need to go on this side and over here. It's the fine touches, the finishing touches. A little bit, I need one more down there maybe. So what I'll do is after I come back from the doctor's appointment and probably after I eat supper, I will go through and I will update the supply list with all of the supplies that I'm using today. Right now it's got the basic supplies, which is like anything from the I Pick You collection and just some of my basic tools that I knew I would be using. So once I get home, eat supper, so in a few hours, I will update the video description with the full supply list. I will also pop in the comments or pop in the video description the code to use if you are looking to purchase from the I Pick You collection from Hero Arts. And I will pop that graphic back up here real quick while I kind of pick up a few things. So that is the code that you can use. Thank you to Hero Arts for providing that for you guys. 20% off the I Pick You collection, which is such a great fall themed collection. Oh, Tracy, thank you for the super sticker. I just saw that as I was coming back to look at the comments if I missed any questions. So thank you so much for that. Striking card today, Maggie says, thank you. Beth Ann says a die cut red shadow offset would be really pretty. It would have, yes. That's something great to try though. If you get this set, that's something really great to try. Oops, wrong button. Also, we have, if you are a Hero subscriber, you have some perks when you become a subscriber. So that is the shipping that just started today, the free shipping on US orders. So there's also that too. So let's go ahead, we'll close that. My finished card, let me see. There I am. So there it is. So what did you guys think? Yeah, hair went up, glasses. That's what happens when I color is it's got to get just full on into it. Can't have stuff hanging off of me or anything. But thank you guys. I appreciate you joining me today on this kind of after lunch hour live, a little bit different time than me usually in the evenings, which I am going to do evenings. I think I'm going to go live again on Monday at 6 o'clock. I got to double check my calendar and I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, but pretty sure I like that time. It seems to work out well for people and for me. Um, so maybe not so much for football fans, but it works out. So I'm pretty sure I'll be back live on Monday. What do you guys think? I hope that you guys were able to pick out some tips out of my coloring, out of watching that. It went really quick, to be honest. I was kind of surprised how quick that went. Any questions before I disappear for the day? Before I head off, I will do pictures later on and get that posted for you guys too. So thank you. Thank you, Kelly, for joining today. And thank you to my moderators, Beth and Amrita. You guys were fantastic today. Thank you guys. No questions. I'll give it just a second because I know there's a little bit of a delay. So yeah, thank you guys. That was really fun. That went better than I thought. All right, I don't see any questions popping in. But thank you. Yes. And if you're brand new here, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the notification bell so you're notified when my videos go up. I don't think YouTube has been notifying people. So really make sure you hit that bell. I think they've been kind of failing to get that out in the feed unless you are or have that bell clicked. So all right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you again real soon, and I will have everything updated in a few hours for you. So have a great rest of your afternoon.